So taking time, chewing your food well, not having huge amounts of liquids at the same time as your food, as you're actually eating your food. Making sure that, but most important of all, making sure that your food is warm and that your drinks are warm. Your body temperature is warm, so if you're putting a cold food into your body, it takes a lot more for the body to process it, to get it up to a body temperature in order to transform and transport it into usable energy. So one of the most important things that you can do is only have warm food and drink. Nothing cold from the fridge, nothing really room temperature. It would be better if it was warmer than room temperature, and certainly no ice cubes and ice creams. So really keeping that digestive fire going and just allowing your food to be processed, so quietening your mind before you eat. Which I know certainly with the children and being at home more, that's something I've really enjoyed. About having more time and space is really preparing food and us all sitting down and having time over our meals. And that's going to really help. There are lots of foods which produce more mucus, and those are ones that you're really wanting to avoid at this time, because you're not wanting to overload your body with mucus forming foods at a time where you're contracting a virus which has a tendency to produce a lot of mucus, and that's where a lot of the problems are. So mucus forming foods in Chinese medicine are dairy products. So your milk, your butter, your yogurt, and your cheese. Really trying to limit how much you have of those things. Sweet, sugars, refined sugars, really limiting those. And juices, especially orange juice, are really damp forming. So really just kind of reducing those. Bananas, peanut butter, all really damp forming too, so really reducing them. So warm foods, warm liquids, and making sure that you're reducing those damp forming foods. And as well as avoiding those damp forming foods, you can also put foods into your diet which actually actively help your body resolve phlegm and damp. And those are things like walnuts and kind of the drier, astringenty kind of foods, and I'll give you a list afterwards. Things like your kind of garlic and your peppers and quite a few of your spices. Not really hot heating spices, because that will add another problem if you do have damp, which will create heat in the dampness. So it's really trying to resolve the damp by mild herbs that aid with the kind of circulation of qi and resolving phlegm, which I will put a list up afterwards and put some broths on, which might be useful. So keeping the upright energy. Next thing. So we've massaged our body, we're breathing deeply, which I've also shown in some clips, some breath work and some Qigong exercises for strengthening the lungs. Massaging our lung area and tapping it and waking up our energy in our lung channels. Keeping our feet warm, keeping out of the way of the wind. Wrapping up if we are in the wind, both with hats and scarves, and making sure that the wind doesn't penetrate us. Avoiding damp forming foods, adding damp resolving foods would be really good. That's all for now. Thanks then.